Welcome again, Cancer. Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au. Great to have your company. And it is a rather important month based upon this 8th house activity in your horoscope. What's the 8th house? The 8th house effectively is, well, they call it the house of death, but it's not necessarily the physical death that we're talking about here. This is more or less the death of the ego, the death of one's old self, the shedding of the serpent skin, if we could put it that way, for renewal, growth, and the rising of the phoenix out of the ashes. And we see here that Mars, probably one of your better planets, is here at the outset of the month with your ruling planet, the moon, here in the 8th house of regeneration, with the karmic past planet. That's the past karma point, Ketu, or the past node. And so therefore a lot of information about your inner self is available to you now, and that's probably because you have a strong desire, as shown by the Mars, to get to the bottom of things, to finally work through some of those psychological complexes that may be holding you back. It's very, very important to understand that it's not always easy to access this part of your nature. You know, the subconscious and unconscious is exactly that. These are usually parts of our personality, our lives, that are submerged beneath the conscious surface. So it's opportune, if you do have the ability now, to see what it is that's been holding you back and to make amends right now, to change that. By the way, this area has a lot to do with your shared resources. So if you're in a partnership, business partnership, you're married, then you will see that this is connected to the way you and your partner are dealing with finances. This is the 7th house of marriage or partnership, and this 2nd house to it has to do with the income, the way money is managed. So you can see here, especially the 1st and 2nd, as the moon moves through this area, that is going to be critical. We also see communications may not be exactly ideal, with Mercury here moving into the opposition of Mars. That can give disputes, it can give misunderstandings, and as I've said to some of the other star signs today, definitely some sort of deception, especially here around the 4th, when you see moon making contact with the naturally deceptive and fuzzy-headed Neptune. Career and profits from career are shown here in the 7th and 8th. An abrupt connection here between the moon and Uranus in the 11th house of friendships and profitability. Those areas of your life likely to be disrupted somewhat for a couple of days. Venus here has moved into your 3rd house around that same time, bringing with it an opportunity to, I guess, resolve some of those problematic communications. 3rd house is communication, and Venus is sweet-tongued, to say the least. So here's your opportunity. We see also that whatever relationships you're having, if they've been undergoing a rocky patch, this triangular aspect between Venus and Saturn, also in your relationship sector, can be worked through. Now, mind you, that doesn't give the most passionate response, but at least things can get back to an even keel. And that's also important in judging the new moon that takes place on the 13th here, fully influencing you yourself. This is along with what we saw in the 8th house of self-transformation, turning over a new leaf, making good those resolutions that you may have slipped up on. It's a recommitment phase for you, Cancer, I'm happy to say. The transit of the moon here with Mercury gives you a creative approach to the way you make money. Again, here we see this lovely, look at that, that's excellent here. You've got the moon and Venus in the 3rd house of short travels, communication, with Uranus in your 11th house of friendships, bringing a dazzling, sparkling, interesting, quirky sort of arrangement there. And no doubt you'll have some interesting conversations and perhaps outings with some unusual people. Maybe some new friends will be made at that time. The moon moves into the low-key area of the horoscope here. There's a more domestic sort of arrangement. A bit of an intensity there with the square to Pluto, but that's easing up around the 20th, 21st with that lovely, opportune, gift-laden conjunction of Jupiter. Sixth house, watch your health, watch your debts, don't go overspending at this time. Work can also be connected to some of the aches and pains you may be feeling. This is a little bit of a down period throughout the 25th, 26th. You may be bottling up a lot of feelings here, again relating to these emotional relationship areas with the moon transiting Saturn and then Pluto. It swings back towards the end of the month to where it began here, and that's on the full moon phase. Let me go back there. That full moon taking place just there around the 26th. There it is, just around this period here. My apologies, I'm one sign out. It's actually a little bit later than that. Just as it moves into that conjunction with Mars, there it is. That's the full moon phase. Although it will be brightening all the way up to that. But here, see, the full moon is again in conjunction with Mars. In your search for sorting out some of these subconscious complexes, this could throw up some stuff you're not expecting, and be careful not to take that out on others. You may need to just run off into a corner somewhere, do your meditation and work through, do some heavy exercise, whatever, but don't take it out on other people, because this is something you have to work through yourself at this stage. That passes at 28th and 29th. It seems to be bringing you back into that question of joint resources, shared funds and money. And at the end of the month, however, there's some opportunity, some vision or some planning for long distance travels, voyages, educational pursuits and that sort of thing. I'm hoping you'll join me next month. It's always brief, I know, I call it the Oracle Express. You can get a more detailed analysis at my site, astrology.com.au. Take a look there, check out the yearly readings, a whole lot of new stuff we're putting in there now, which can give you more information on you. And do come back next month. Bye-bye.